Hello YouTube, my name is Plazukas, and today I'm going to react to a Tectone video that was posted about an hour ago, and it's entitled Goodbye. Now, I'm not sure if that's clickbait. There's obviously been some health issues and some other things that, Tectone has expressed publicly, so that's why I'm reiterating it here. I have not watched this other than the first 30 seconds to like 45 seconds. That's it. I promise. That's all I have watched. So I do not know if this is going to be anything I can react to. If it gets too personal, I probably will choose not to put it on YouTube. If you're seeing this, then I obviously did, and therefore there's probably some substance. So without further ado, let's react to this video entitled Goodbye. I'm not making fun of anything. I don't know. I don't know what this video is about. I don't know what subject it's about.
Hey, what's up, boys? I know I haven't been around in a couple days, and I'm probably not going to be back for another couple days, but I kind of wanted to keep you guys in the loop on what's going on for anybody who gives.
I mean, listen, I give a fuck about people and them going through a lot of stuff. And apparently you have been. I'll take your word for it to the degree that I can trust you. So yes.
And if you don't, that's all good. I'll be back to normal.
It's less about not and more about I do care. I just don't always trust the motives.
Soon. Too long, didn't watch. I was up. I'm attempting to not get up, and these are just going to be some life updates on what's going on. And also, man, did y'all see Trump get shot at? That was
yeah, we did. It was very, very interesting.
it was all honestly very terrible. But man, what a moment in history. That's going down in history books for sure. It's super unlucky that that happens the day that I'm missing for a couple days, and I get a couple.
I don't know what that means. Exactly.
People being like, "Hey, man, were you involved?" No,
Okay.
obviously not. Ridiculous, but
I don't know why they would even say that. Like, what is your affiliation with Trump? What's your affiliation with the party? I guess I've not heard that in the last month and a half that I've been watching your content, but okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would make that assumption.
Yeah, history is being made every day.
That's true.
Yeah, actually insane. So
It
let's
is.
just talk about a couple of things that I wanted to kind of get off my chest.
Sure.
I'm not sure what the title of this video is, but let me just say what it is that I'm talking about. And yeah, it's just a lot has happened over this year. A lot of good friends are being made. A lot of good content's being made. We started the Gotcha Cast while I was here. We started the Uncultured podcast while I was here. Steak and Eggs podcast is still going incredibly strong. We started Wuthering Waves here. We started Zema Zone Zero here. We continue to grind out Honkai Star Rail here. Genshin Impact is still fucking shit here. And we're going to talk about, oh my god, can you believe that Genshin Impact Hoyoverse hates black people? Oh my god. Like we haven't been here before. History repeats itself, ladies and gentlemen, and now I am old enough and bitter enough in this community.
I don't know. I don't get this reference. What is this drama within Genshin Impact? Here's what I do know. Coming from, and I don't know if this has anything to do with the subject because I really do not know, but I know that Final Fantasy 14 has been criticized for not having diversity. And then other markets that are more Eastern have this criticism about diversity. But the reality is this, not that it's an excuse, not that they shouldn't improve, but unlike America, they're not as diverse as we are. They're not full of immigrants. They have an homogenization issue. They have people of their same culture and race. And that is pretty much how they identify. Now, yeah, obviously they can do influences from other, demographics, and they have in the past. And it does seem like there is less of a representation for many other groups, and that does need to change. So I'm not providing an excuse. I was just giving a clarification on their answer. It's not a good one. It needs to change. And if that's the issue, then I totally understand that this is a problem. I don't know if it's something more specific or if there was like an actual discussion point from Hoyoverse and Genshin or not, or if it's just a lack of diversity. Totally understandable.
Where I have seen the exact same drama happen not once, not twice. We are in the third time, and people are still shocked that in China, they're not really too big on putting black people in their media.
Okay, that's not uncommon. They've done this with movies. They've done this with a lot of things. Yes. Is that ignorance? Is that culture? What is that? Is it racism? Could be. Possibly. Is that a Genshin thing? No, it's probably more like an Eastern thing, to be honest.
Games. Man, oh man. I guess we're back here again. Oh, don't worry, guys. I made a Twitter post saying that we really want black people in our game. It's just not going to happen, guys. It's really not. And if they do, let's be real, they're going to make him a 4-star. Or make the 5-star one of the worst characters in the game. Don't.
I think this is a little bit disingenuous, Tectone. I really do. I mean, critique all you want, and it's plenty of critiquing going on in the Eastern, part of the world as far as diversity. But at some point, you've leveraged every one of these dramas to your benefit, not to mention to the disdain of many other people in that community, by the way, Tectone. Okay? Otherwise known as Dictone.
Don't get me wrong. Am I still going to try Natlin? Sure.
Oh, of course you will. Because as soon as you go back there, your viewership doubles. All the haters come around, and they'll hate watch you. And like you've said, when you play free-to-play games, engagement is money. And so you'll get that engagement. You'll get that insurgence, and you'll always have that in your back pocket to when you go back to Genshin for whatever time you go back to. And who knows, you might get stuck there if the viewers are good and if the community is somewhat tolerable, or you can farm the shit out of it and be toxic as fuck, because that's the community that you can just dismiss at any time you want.
But I'd be lying if I said I'd be lying if I didn't say the only reason that I play Genshin Impact is just to keep up with all this stupid ass shit with it. I play it once every 3 months, and then I still have the credibility to tell everybody how shit that fucking game is and how.
No, you don't. You don't have it, because guess what you do? You bully. And you farm. And then you don't take accountability for any of your actions during that time, and you just leave it. Because you're your own admission, you only play it every 3 months.
Shit, that company's handlement of that game is even worse.
What shit? It's a PvE game. Hoyo versus games are now like this. This is the way it is. Now, I can't speak to what it was before, obviously, with no pity and stuff like that. Obviously, that is egregious. But these games are meant for you to support them. They're meant as gambling machines. You either accept that for what they are, okay, and you try to play around that system being free to play, which is good luck with that continuously. I do not recommend that. I do not think that's the way to play these games. Or you pay and you support these games the way they're intended to, and you can't support them enough because they want all your money. So there's always a balance here. But free to play? No. Whale? No. Somewhere in between? Probably. Multiple games besides Genshin? Yes, of course. You can't just play Genshin exclusively, because if you do, you're going to spend too much money there. Or you're going to get bored, or you're going to get frustrated, or whatever else.
Yeah, what a joke. Anyways.
I was just hating on Genshin. I get it. Go ahead.
But I think I've been fucking up for a little bit. I do. I really do. Thankfully, all the people who have been upset at me or I've been upset with, that I give a fuck about. I mean this genuinely. If there's some smaller CC who's jaded, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of smaller CCs that are jaded about me and they think they're unique. Listen, I'll be real, guys. If you got like 500, 3,000, 4,000 subs, and I can't talk to everybody, nor do I really wish to, because that kind of just means that everybody on the internet can have the ability to communicate with me, and I'll be real, I'm just not going to do that. It's like getting upset unironically at a tweet with 1 like. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good.
You do it often. You do it often. You do it often.
I will be real. I think I have become a little bit more intense, a little bit more severe with the way that I present some of my content on stream.
Okay.
And I know a lot of that is due to stress, and a lot of that is due to anxiety.
Okay.
But even more so, a lot of that was due to necessity. And what do I mean by that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, for a very long time,
Yep.
and I'm sure you guys are aware of this, this space was pretty much a fucking war zone for me. It was.
A war zone that you created, and that you have all the blame to bear as well.
I had.
Yeah, this whole sympathy tour now, and like using this again to leverage your excuses is, in my opinion, no different. And this shows that you're probably not going to learn from your lesson, Tectone. I hate to say this, but all that drama that happened before with Goose, Atsu, Braxophone, Box, well, maybe Box wasn't existing there, Dish, whatever, all these people, it's totally on you as well, my friend. Totally on you as well. Because you're doing the same exact thing that you criticize Atsu for doing with Wither and Waves. You're gatekeeping Wither and Waves now. You control that environment. You control who gets the sponsors, who doesn't get the sponsors. As much as Atsu was. Obviously, there's other people that do it, but you're the one that put blame on Atsu. Okay? You're the one that was jealous of Atsu, that was criticizing Atsu because you wanted all the money. I get that. Just like you wanted all the money back then as well. I get that. But you are to blame for this drama. You created a lot of this toxicity. It's on you. So don't use it and don't leverage it as though you're some victim. You're not a victim in this case, buddy. You're not.
So many motherfuckers coming at me every single
And you asked for every single one of them.
fucking day. And me defending myself was considered attacking
You scapegoating yourself. Yeah, sure. You did that. You did that a lot. You continue to do that.
other people, whether that's indirectly or directly mentioning my name. And I'm sorry, man. When a dumb motherfucker steps up, I'm gonna put him in their fucking place.
What if they're not and they're trying to talk to you rationally? They're trying to really, as much as a content creator can. Okay, obviously they're not your friends, so they're going to talk to you in a very superficial way, kind of, because that is kind of the relationship that you have with a coworker or a colleague. So obviously there's not going to be like sincerity there, but at the same time they could be like serious as well within the business spectrum of it all. Now, if personal friends stuff aside like that, that's different. I get that, but you can't really evaluate somebody that's also a content creator. Not also trying to leverage their brand and their market, but maybe they're not coming from it from a completely negative way. Maybe they're not coming from a very nefarious way. Although, in my opinion, all these content creators are very competitive. So who the fuck knows? But you played the game, my friend. You did the same fucking thing. You called as many people out as they called you out, and vice versa. And you kept this shit going, and you benefited from it greatly.
But I will be damned if we're going to consider self-defense as a outward attack. Absolutely not.
Bro, the tactics that you deploy are not self-defense. Okay, they're aggressive. They're calculated. And they probably exist somewhere in your head where also the narcissistic tendencies exist as well. That's partly the issue, Tectone. It's partly the issue. That's why I responded to a one-like Twitter feed or tweet is your problem, because you have that issue alone. Like, you're not the only one that has that issue in the world, but it's uniquely yours, and you haven't fully accepted it. So hopefully that can be something you evolve and learn from.
The space for gotcha has gotten a lot better, and drastically so.
I disagree. I think it's gotten a lot worse. And I think you're part of that toxicity that exists in this space.
I mean, the majority of the problematic people in this world, in this space, are pretty much gone now.
Yeah, you bullied them out. You absolutely orchestrated, from my, outside observational perspective, you eliminated them. I think you alone eliminated a lot of the competition. And then the people that are left are your homies, are the people that you support, that you prop up. Is that natural? Is that organic? Fuck no. Absolutely not. And you're cultivating all these things that you accused Atsu of.
And it's insane. Like, they're legit just gone. Now, I'm sure some of them are going to come back full swing for Natlin. But, yeah, a lot of
I hope they do, because I would actually like to talk to them. I'd like to have a conversation with them. I'm respecting the people that have walked away, that I could have interviews with, that I could collaborate with, that I could talk to. And if they do come back, I will make sure they know who I am. And we'll have that conversation then. And we'll talk about these issues that existed before they left, why they left, and how they think things should change, instead of just hearing it from somebody, from your perspective. Because I don't think your perspective is the right perspective. And you've admitted to this. You've said that you have some things you need to resolve. So.
people making the space much worse. The people who would pretty much pander to the snowflakes.
Fucking interesting way to say that, man. That's such an interesting way to say that. As though they shouldn't exist. They shouldn't get a platform, right? Just fuck those people. Fuck those people. They play the games just like everybody else does, but fuck those people. Fuck people that you consider snowflakes, who may be just more sensitive, who may be just more empathetic and sympathetic, who may be just more open-minded. Fuck those fucking people who you declare victims or whatever else you have in your hierarchy of normalcy.
Talk about how everything has to be a pussy hug box. You know, people who pander to the Twitter mob, they're pretty much all gone, and rightfully so. I've been letting them know the error of their ways for.
Well, this is a true trend that's happening right now. Woke culture is being demonized, rightfully so, because it's got overly aggressive, and it's everywhere, and people are losing their entertainment, losing their escapism, and you're benefiting from that rhetoric. I do not deny that, and we'll see how long this trend lasts. It lasted for fucking basically the entire human civilization, and it's only like a small amount that woke culture actually existed in, and they tried to get all the things corrected in that little bit of time. They couldn't because the traditionalist and the conservative values push back, and so here we are. And it looks like it's not going to end. It looks like it's going to continue. So yeah.
What's now, guys? I'm going to say a number that's really fucking disgusting. 6 years. Been doing YouTube for 6 years now.
It's not that long. 6 years, not that long, bud.
And we're still killing it every day. Twitch streams are amazing. Top 100 English-speaking streams on the planet. But
Me drama farming, but sure, go ahead.
I think I have trouble letting go of how things used to be. And I think sometimes I come off a little bit too aggro.
You have mentioned this before you took a break, so I'm glad you're re-establishing this baseline.
On some of my reacts and some of my streams, and going forward, I'm going to try to give other content creators a little bit more leniency. I think that's been an error on my part. And, you know, if I've ever given you a harsh react or two, just know I apologize. But I would like to also say, if you are a content creator that I've ever reacted to and you don't want me to react to you, just let me know. Absolutely. We'll never react to you. Won't.
It's not, and listen, I think I need to make this clear, and I know this video is not about me, and I know he's not referencing me, but let me just say this. Just in case there's a small hint, or, you know, anybody's watching this. I didn't mind the reaction to my video. I didn't mind anything happened after that. The only thing I did not like, the only thing that was very disingenuous, that was very infuriating, was when I was basically diluted down to insanity, dumb, stupid idiots. And like the whole, you know, dialogue that's happened just before this last sentence was like weak-minded people or whatever else. The assumption that I'm that. There is nothing wrong with that, by the way. You know, it takes all types of people in this world to exist and to be successful, ultimately. So I don't mind, you know, and I'm learning how to react and how to deal with being reacted to and all this stuff. And it's a learning process for me. And somebody as big as Tectone, being on Asmongold's channel was, you know, something that I had to adjust and adapt to. And I've done really well. And I'm sure I'm going to have some growing pains to go forward. But as far as myself goes, I didn't mind that. It was not like a personal attack at me. But the discourse that happened after and how it diluted down to just you're insane, dumb, and stupid. That's the part that upset me. That's the part that I didn't understand. That's the part that I didn't prepare for. Any debates, any topics, we can have them all day. Disagreements, agreements, all those, totally agree with you. Respect that. But if you deduce that down to like the simplest, stupidest fucking shit, and I have too now in response to your videos sometimes. I admit that. Out of anger, out of frustration, out of annoyance, blah, 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 blah. I get it. We all can succumb to it. So if now we're at a point where we're going to be like, okay, let's look at this and say, okay, bigger picture here. I am definitely smarter than that. Then fine. I can hope for the best for you, Tectone.
I'll mention your name. It's really that easy. I don't do any of these things out of malice. I hope you guys know that. Well, some things I do out of malice. I do. I don't want to lie.
Okay. Okay, good. This is very good.
Here. I do some things out of malice. And I'm pretty sure you guys can tell.
Yeah, I definitely could tell some of the things that you did at the tail end was malicious. And I think, and mine was not malicious. Mine was a reaction to you lying to me. There's a difference here. My intentions were always true and solid. Yours were not.
what those are. But for 99% of the time, I usually don't. But outliers always exist. There's exceptions. They're not the rules. You know how it goes. But yeah, if you don't want me to react to your shit, just let me know. Shoot me a DM. Leave me a comment. All good. I'll take down the videos too. Good. There's been a couple content creators, not too many, about 2 or 3 that have let me know. No problem. Mum's the word. Don't mention them. Don't talk about them. Don't react to them. I remove all the videos referencing them. Is what it is. All good. It's no hard feelings. Yeah. And totally understood. No ill will whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be for fun, right? It's supposed to be all about having a good time. Now, obviously, with me understanding that, the space used to be very hostile for me, and I still think that it is, but in reality, I think the space is actually pretty good right now. There's a lot of good people at the top, and that makes me really happy because it was.
You put them all there. You put them all there. We went back and watched boxes. Kind of cryptically went in there twice in 2 days. While he was covering your content, or could have covered the content, maybe could have posted a YouTube video and kind of just like put it out there to say, yeah, I'm your friend. You constantly are involved with Mr. Pokey streams. You're kind of just putting the seed in there a little bit, discreetly, nonchalantly, incognito. But I see it. I can visualize it.
Wasn't always like this, and unfortunately, a lot
It's not a good space, in my opinion.
of CCs weren't around when the great gotcha.
We got a lot of ban-ins. We got a lot of freedom of speech. We got a lot of people that are being ignored, that have fair criticisms, that are just being diluted down to dumb, stupid, idiot, weak stuff.
The war happened, and they won't really understand what I'm talking about. But I know my longtime viewers knowers know, and it is what it is.
Your loyal, sheepish, turdish viewers that have basically been with you thick and thin, that will probably be with you forever. I don't know what they know specifically. Based on my month and a half, it's a lot of probably fabricated fake shit.
And maybe if you want a lore dump on them sometime, you're more than welcome to.
I am planning on doing that. Hopefully within the next week. There's gonna be a big lore dump.
And I think I've done a lot for too long. And I'll be real, guys. I was averaging around 260 hours of streaming just on Twitch a month. That doesn't account for me having to do business meetings for the 4 companies that I own. Me also running my YouTube, talking to my editors, talking to my moderators, coordinating content ideas, coordinating future OTK ideas, future GotchaCast episodes, helping other creators. And if you're a smaller creator, I'm sure that we've had some interaction, which I really think for a lot of the larger creators of the space, I don't think they can say that. I don't think there's any, and once again, okay, here we go. I think there's a big difference between confidence and ego. But I am going to say something that people can take as arrogance, and that's fine. If you want to take that, go ahead. It's pretty much perception is reality at this point. I know that I do have an ego. However, I don't think it's a problem at my size. I'm going to state a fact. You can disagree if you want, but know that you'll be wrong. There is not a single creator of my size who has done more assistance, 1, for the community, and 2, for smaller creators. And that is...
So you're talking your size. You're not talking bigger. You're not talking smaller. You're talking specifically your size. It's a very interesting, definition that you are trying to convey here. And, I don't doubt that you've done those things. Apparently, you've done something to the degree that you've spoken to Tectone. But I question the motives and the intention behind it. Many people give to charity as a tax break. Many content creators do charity to generate more views and to get engagement. Not all of them. Some of them do it for the right reasons. I do not think that there's many of them. I think they all have a self-interest. I think they all have a opportunistic attitude towards it. And listen, that's capitalism. That's America. There's nothing wrong with this. This is what it is. I'm going to criticize it because guess what? That's where your values do not align with mine. And that's why our opinions would always be disagreeable or agreeable in many cases. Okay?
A fucking fact. And I know that. And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, you are very proud of that. And you mentioned that a lot, which is not a bad thing, but speaks to your intentionality at some point, because people that do it for the right reasons do not give a shit to say it. Or they do it, they don't say it that often. And when you say it too often, it comes off as disingenuous, regardless of arrogance.
Incredibly proud of that because I am attempting to do what I wish I had people help me with.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing. And hope that's the case, yeah.
When I was smaller, but when I was smaller, I had nobody. You know what I had? 3 other phones that I would use to pull up my stream. That way I would go from 1 viewer to 4 viewers. And that's what I would do. You know what else I would do? I would post my goddamn shit into a Reddit, upvote that bitch on 3 different accounts, get that shit from 1 upvote to 4 upvotes, and hope to God somebody saw my shit. I refused to take failure as an option. Absolutely not, bro. I'm good. I have medication for my panic attacks now, which is great.
It is.
I guess it's kind of strange to admit that there was something wrong with me. But man, the guilt that I would feel when the demons of my own mind would hold me back from doing the one thing that actually made me felt good, which is streaming. Now, I will say, I definitely have an addiction to streaming. I absolutely do. I definitely have an addiction to content creating. I absolutely do. But sometimes my other addictions, which is hanging out with friends in real life, sometimes takes over. I've been gone for 3 days. Maybe this video is a little bit dramatic, but I cannot tell you how big of a deal 3 days off, and I'm...
Yeah, you should have taken these days off before. But your addiction, your control over this ecosystem has been... What's the word? I think I know the word. It's like the grip there. It's a iron grip. An iron grip.
Probably going to get to 6 days off is for me. It feels like every day I'm in a hyperbolic time chamber of making my body feel better. Like,
yeah, that's what time off does. That's why you don't want to promote in the game industry, crunch work, because it just creates this environment where people get unhealthy, where nurses and people were overworked during COVID, and now still they're overworked because of just not being able to continue to keep people employed, and the need for assistance and medical help. This is an issue everywhere, and it's something that we have to try to balance better, because I think you're seeing this firsthand, Tectone, is that time off is very, very important.
I'm awake, I'm active, I have more energy, I've had no anxiety, I feel clear, I feel focused, I feel determined. I have a lot of things I need to do. I mean, even just today, I picked up a new project. I'm doing a new Dungeons and Dragons project, which you guys will probably see in about 2 months. I'm doing that with a
Okay, so you're still doing content to some degree.
couple of my buddies. One that I can name, Jimmy here, which I fucking love that
You love Jimmy. We've heard it once, we'll hear it again, and hear it another time.
guy to death. We're starting our D&D podcast today, which is going to be recorded, posted on YouTube later, as well as I'm doing Steak and Eggs with Asmongold's dad today, which I'm very excited
Oh, that's happening for the first time? All right.
about. I love
That's been hyped on for a while.
Asmon so much. Fucking great fucking dude. Great fucking dude. Emmy's great too. She's so sweet. Very nice. I love my Steak and Eggs podcast. And then the day after, I'm flying to Florida. Yeah, we're going to Florida, guys. My least favorite state in all of America. Why am I doing that? Well, there's a content creator called Destiny, and he wanted me to be on his podcast. So I am flying out to Florida to do a quick podcast with Destiny, doing 2 podcasts with him, actually. And, yeah, hoping that
From Texas, I don't think that's too bad of a trip. Like, he's a quick trip. I'm sure it's a quick trip and back.
goes well. I think it'll be nice. It'd be nice to meet somebody new.
We're most likely definitely reacting to that, by the way.
It's also really funny because I know he's a very controversial figure, and
Do you really want to get in the weeds again, Tectone? Do you want to create drama? Because most likely it's going to come out of there.
I can't wait to see how upset people get by me merely being in his presence. And yeah, we're doing it for a little bit of a meme, but yeah, I'm waking up 3 a.m. that day, and I'm not getting back till midnight. That's going to be a busy, busy, busy fucking day. I am quite stressed about it because I only want to be gone for a day because I don't like being away from my kiddies, who are doing very well. But yeah,
Oh, that's very nice. I have to agree. You know, that's something that I can resonate definitely with. I have a dog that's very old, and she's very, very, uh, yeah, I can agree. I have a dog that's very old, and she definitely has attachment issues right now.
A lot of things happening, and then hopefully I'll be back to stream the next day. If I need to take one more day off, I will, but we'll see. That being said, I am also thinking about adding in a day off every week just for me to reset.
Good. And give, maybe some people, that feel like they've got this iron grip on them a chance to like breathe a little bit. This is good.
But I really
This is really good for you. I'm so happy for you.
don't know if I can do that
Yeah, you got an addiction, my friend.
because I really enjoy streaming. But I
You already said you got an addiction, so there's a distinction and difference here, I think, unfortunately for you, buddy.
do think I need to take more time off. I'm trying really hard, but I think I'm just trying to do too much. But we'll see. We will see. It's been a little bit of a battle on YouTube with the comments, universally, not just me. I feel like everybody's state of their channel right now is a fucking mess.
You've created a lot of this mess. You are the ecosystem, you are the culture, you are the channel that basically has their chat weaponized, just like Hex shoes, to go make this the way it is. Are you going to apologize to Ambiosity when you get back? Probably not. You're part of this discourse.
Just talking about Zenless Zone Zero will assuredly get you 80% likes to 20% dislikes. People
Oh yeah, you're gonna say it like that. It's not the reason, Tectone. You know why.
get really upset about that game, and it is pretty
It has nothing to do with the game. It has everything to do with what drama you created while you were playing that game. Let's be very clear.
wild. I will say the gotcha space is in a little bit of a weird issue because before it was kind of just like cover this one game and you're good. But now there's so many options and there's a lot of fragmentation. However, people who get how to roll with it good, people who are given, and I don't want to be rude here, but there are a lot of creators who are just kind of given a channel just because they so happen to cover Genshin, just because they so happen to be moderately attractive, just because they so happen to cover that game during COVID. And now the people who are actually making good content, compelling content, are starting to rise above those who lucked out. And I hope nobody gets offended by saying that. But, a lot of content creation is luck. And that was a huge factor, was the COVID creators who blew up. And here we are.
I don't know if you're including MTash in this because technically MTash was pretty prominent Destiny 2 content creator. He had a platform well before Genshin or any kind of live service game. But okay.
I think another thing that I'm never really going to get used to is people who care more about relationships than I care about my own relationships. And what do I mean by that?
Well, what do you mean by
I
that?
want to say this for anybody who needs to hear it. Just because there's two creators in the same space does not mean that they're friends. And I got to keep it honest with you. If I have not made a personal call to that creator, if we have not talked frequently off stream and DMs, we're just like not friends, right? I might have respect for them, but you got to get this. And I feel very fortunate for me saying this, which is I have so many friends right now. It's absurd. I used to have maybe one or two back when I was in middle school.
If you have too many friends, Tectone, then I question your friendships. That's not, exclusive to you. I question anybody that has too many friends. How many of those are transactional? Friendships is a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, just like owning a pet, just like, having a wife, just like being in a relationship, just like having kids, just like having pets. Like, this is choices, my friend, and the more stuff you have like that, the less time you're going to be with them, and how much of those are you using for your own benefit, and how much of those do you actually care about? And like, even if you try to care about all of them, you can't because it's too overwhelming. So you might need to close your circle down just a little bit, bud.
But now I have hundreds. And
That's a lot. That's way too fucking many.
unfortunately, when it comes to me, the more good friends that I have, and I have a lot of good friends, guys. I have a lot of good friends. Unfortunately, I don't have time for people who suck.
That's not the way to look at it. You don't have time for anybody, really. That's life. And 100 friends, even if you think they're all good, you don't have time for them. They don't have time for you. Because they probably have 20, 100 friends too. You know? Question their motives, question their intentions as well. You know? 10, maybe? 5, probably? I mean, let's be real. You can't have that many friends. Hate to say it. You can have acquaintances, you can have colleagues, you can have coworkers, you can have neighbors. They're not your friends. They may have aligned interests with you at that particular time, but those interests can change. Good luck. Life is a bitch.
I don't. I'm gonna be a lot less tolerant because I don't really need to bust my back for relationships when I have hundreds of relationships
Right, I agree with that. 100%. I think that is a very good, clear uh, distinction.
that are perfectly functional. And I'm gonna be real. There are a lot of content creators who suck fucking dick at being a good friend. They just do. And there's probably a lot of y'all.
I don't know. Could be Gotcha Smack. Could be Hex Shoes. No, it's probably not Hex Shoes. Hex Shoes is a good friend. Or is she? Could be Box. Could be Mr. Pokey. I'm just saying, it's gotta be one of you. It's gotta be somebody, right? That he's talking about. That's supposedly his friend. Legion. It's gotta be one of those people, right? I don't know who else. List some more people. He has a bunch of people on his podcast. Lol Shinra. Who are you that are not his friends? That he would rather you not be his friends? Or is he trying to say get in line? Is this another cryptic thing to get in line? Get in line. What about his new friend that he just had? What's his name? Juicy C whatever from the latest controversy of the Zenless Zone Zero UI. You know?
That suck dick at being a good friend.
Right, so you're trying to get him in line. I get that now. This is kind of cryptic, right?
But the amount of creators who I've attempted to be friends with that claim that we're cool or we're cool, and I send them DM after DM after game invite after game invite, and I don't get anything in return, and then those same people want to say, bad friend, I'm sorry, bro. But you don't know how to be a good friend. And I think a lot of people don't know how to be a good.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing. And I want you to know that I have an open friendship available because I don't really have a lot of friends. That's by choice. And because I am becoming more of a content creator than I was before, let me just say Tectone. Even though I don't know if our personality types would actually mesh well, that wouldn't matter if we were actually friends, right? And if you called me to do something for you, or if I called you to do something for me, I think I'd be there for you. So let me, this is a new wave. You're on medication now. You're going to go on your apology tour soon, hopefully. Let me just invite you in, okay? If you want to be my friend, I'm going to at least allow the possibility that that happens. Then we got to take it slow. We're going to have to figure it out. It may not work. Not all friendships work, in my opinion. But we can be more cordial. We can definitely go to that next level as friendships, of course. That's it. So we can actually do stuff together. We can
Friend.
We can collaborate together, or whatever else. Doesn't mean I'm gonna be your tool. Doesn't mean you're gonna be able to tell me what to do. I'm still gonna cover the content I want to cover. If you're my friend, I'm gonna criticize you behind closed doors, like a real friend would do. And if you don't correct your behavior and I'm against it, then I'll probably just choose to not be your friend. That's what real friends do. Not like Hex Shoes who say it publicly. Again, not like MTash who say it publicly. Like these are all true. But you've already admitted that MTash wasn't your friend. He's pretty admitted that even though he was friendly with you, that there wasn't any loss there per se. I would tell you behind closed doors, you know, as opposed to doing it in the open like I have been, because we're not friends.
I know how to be a very good friend, and I'm sure anybody who is my friend knows that. But it is shocking the state of 2024 content creators
Yep.
and their inability to understand if you are not reaching out, we are not fucking tight. That's just how it goes. And from a viewer perspective, some of y'all need to fucking calm the fuck down. Losing a friendship to y'all might be a big deal. To me, it's usually a great thing.
That's interesting. That's kind of a good indicator of how you value friendship, which is not very good. You have too many friends. That's part of the problem. I think that's only part of the problem. There's plenty of other problems I think you particularly deal with personally. But if you really don't care about your friendships, then yeah, that's definitely an indicator.
And the reason why that is because I don't feel like wasting time on making a relationship work that will probably prove to be a 3 out of 10 mediocre friendship. And once again, a lot of you guys can draw conclusions of, oh, he must be talking about this guy. I promise you, I'm not talking about one individual
No, I believe that.
whatsoever. I'm talking about a plethora of people.
Right. He's talking about X Juice, talking about Gotcha Smack, Mr. Pokey, Box 2, Lol Shinra, Legion. He's talking about all of you, actually. So there you go. Now you know. Just so you know, you're not his friend. I just want to let you know that. He said it, not me.
A plethora of people. I know
A plethora is a lot. An excessive quantity or fullness, that's a lot. That's like 100 people. Or in this case, probably like 5 or 10.
a lot of you guys want me to be friends with this guy, that guy, do content with this guy, but I'm kind of just getting to the point where I just want to make content with people I like, not content that people you like. You guys really shouldn't give a fuck who I'm friends with or not. You just shouldn't. And also on that regard, you guys also should really not.
I don't give a shit who you're friends with, but again, if it covers gotcha and you're doing it if you're doing it manipulatively and you're trying to like scapegoat a controversy or something that you've created on the community, then yeah, I will question your friendships. I will question your motives and intentions. And unless that's done privately, which then I will not question them, that's on you, Tectone.
Try to understand my friendships with other people too, because if you don't get them, I don't give a fuck, because the parties involved do. And I'll be
Yeah, that's true. That's what a friendship is, right? So go ahead and be real.
real. When I'm sitting there, crazy comparison. When I'm sitting there,
Uh-oh. Here we go.
this is insane what I'm about to say.
Here we go. And
When
you see
I'm
it.
having sex,
This is why do you have to derail this whole entire thing?
when I'm having sex with a woman, am I gonna think,
You don't have to preface it by that.
oh man, I wonder if her best friends would approve of the technique that I'm using for intercourse? I wonder if they would approve of how many back shots I'm giving this hoe. You know what I'm saying?
No, not really. I think you're speaking to your audience of teenagers, Andrew Tate-ish people. Go ahead.
But it's on the internet. We're like, I don't really understand their dynamic. So they're abusive. Oh,
That is not as clear cut as you made it out to be. I think you're referring to your wife, which is a weird thing to say, ultimately. And yeah, marriage should not be put into public spectrum. Obviously, it's personal, unless, of course, you guys both are content creators and you both kind of make it public, which you have by making videos and doing Twitch streams together and having real fights. That's on you, Tectone. That's on you. Now, if a content creator were to use that footage and make it look bad, that is on them, but it's still on you. You still own an equal share of responsibility for that action, whether you like it, whether you acknowledge it or not.
God, bro, just shut the fuck up. It's
Some would say, just don't post it online either, Tectone. It's an equal amount of criticism both ways, my friend.
So ridiculous. The internet is so what?
No, just don't post it online. It's not that difficult. You know how this happens when you post things online. It becomes everybody's, sandbox. That's not good or bad. That's just the culture of social media. That's what the internet has become. It's crazy, the ecosystem that we live in.
I don't. You were being kind of a dick to this person. Okay. All right. That's crazy how we're still cool. Yeah, but what did Jesus Christ think of your interaction?
Well, I mean, that's fair. Some people are very religious, and every action is going to be scrutinized. That is just the reality that we live in. We live in the sandbox of people. And if you don't want that criticized, then keep it fucking private. That's the benefit of the United States of America. Things that happen behind closed doors are mostly kept sacred. Everything else, forget about it.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. If two people say they're cool, then fuck.
No, sorry. If it happened online, then it's not good enough. It doesn't work that way. It would be nice and convenient if it did, but it just doesn't.
Fuck off. And that's how it goes. Unless you're doing that intentionally to farm viewers, in which case, hey man, get them. But I hope you know how much of a psychopath you sound like. People are fucking nuts. Jesus Christ.
And you are most likely one of them.
The Gotcha space is going great as far as communities, or as far as the content creators go. But man, some of the chatters they're just out of their fucking mind, man. They are out of their fucking mind. That whole Natland bullshit, oh dude. People are so lucky I wasn't there to be live. I was about to say the most radioactive nuclear takes that everybody's thinking, but nobody's saying. But yeah, bro. We really are never getting black characters in Genshin Impact.
We're going to go back to this, huh? Okay. I think it's a fair criticism, but still, I'm going to say the same thing I said before. It's an Eastern problem, and it may be racist, it may be ignorant, it may be convenient. It's worth talking about, but you already have problems with Genshin to begin with.
No, we're just not. We're just not. We're just not. And people have every right to be upset at that. But
Why? You criticize woke culture all the time. If that doesn't feel right for their diversity, their culture, just like you criticize, white men not having the ability to do anything anymore, like criticize things or anything like that, why is that, in your opinion? Like my opinion, I think differently than you, clearly. But why is that an issue? It is an issue, but why is it an issue for you specifically when you have this rhetoric that is basically agreeable to a Eastern culture, closed-minded person?
you got to understand, right? If you want a black character in your game,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't be playing Genshin Impact to get
Well, not just Genshin Impact, but a lot of other games that are produced in the East.
that. Go play something else, because I assure you we're not getting that in this game.
I am confident that you are probably not going to get it in that game as well.
Okay, and if they do, we'll get a little bit tanned, and they'll say,
I think that's a fair criticism. I think that's correct. You preaching this is a little bit hypocritical, but I appreciate this because I think it's important to criticize it. I just want to reiterate, you're the person that, makes tweets to say white men can't criticize, blah, 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 blah. And yet you're doing this on the other hand. And this is a very closed-minded take that they have from the Eastern culture and you have from your white privileged perspective.
hey, they're black, but it's just not really gonna happen, man, okay? Chinese companies, they just don't fucking do that. It is what it is. Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? Yeah, these people bitching and moaning on Twitter. But yeah, there's no change coming to that, guys. There's not. We've done this once. Now we've done this twice. And as of today, we have done the same drama 3 times. In fucking insane. And I'm still gonna farm it when I get back too. I got so much more to say. It's exciting, dude. I got like 200 React videos good to go for when I get back. It's gonna
You're not gonna do 200 React videos. Let's be very clear.
be a wild ride. But I just need you guys to know. Too long. Didn't watch. Let's go over everything. Took some time off.
All right. And that's what we're in the video for us today. I don't want to have to reiterate what he's going to say. And if he says anything else, well, that's just, you know, it is what it is. So we'll see when he comes back in Thursday, Friday, you know, when he goes to Destiny podcast, which could just blow up the internet again, potentially, depending on how Destiny lays it on him, which he probably won't. It'd be more agreeable, like meme-tastic. Maybe they'll just say something for controversy's sake just to get views. Either way, I'm going to be here covering it. My name is Suzuki. If you like this content, like, subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.